Alaikum. Welcome to another revision section, BST. Um, what we treated for the exam, we treated the measurements, uh, types of measurements, living things, plants as living things, their identification, their main parts, their types, animals as living things, their main parts as well, identification, and soil in our environment. Now, the first topic was measurement, which we said measurement is finding out the size, the length, the height, the weight, or amount of something, right? We looked at types of measurement. We said measurement of length, measurement of height, measurement of mass, measurement of volume, measurement of temperature, measurement of time, right? Now, we said measurement of length tells us how long something is, right? And we looked at tools that we use to measure this length, and said ruler and measuring tape. We looked at measurement of height, which tells us how tall something is, right? The tools for using that as well is ruler or measuring tape. Now, measurement of mass said tells us how heavy or light something is. So the tools that we use in measuring this measurement of mass, we said we have balance scale and weighing scale. Now we moved to look at measurement of volume, right? Which we said is the amount of space an object occupies, or how much liquid space is taking. The tools we use, we said we the cups, the jugs, measuring cylinder, our cans, our tins, right? Then we looked at temperature, measurement of temperature, which tells us how hot or cold something is, which the tool we use to measure that temperature is thermometer. Then the last one we looked at measurement of time, which tells us when and how long events or activities takes place, right? Then the tools we use to measure this time, we said we have the clock, watch, calendar, and pictures of sunrise or sunset, which is used at the ancient time. Now, what are the units of these measurements? The units for length and height, we have centimeter and meter. For measuring mass, we have grams and kilograms. Now, grams, don't forget we said are measured when we want to measure small objects, right? And kilograms is when we want to measure bigger objects. Then the units for volume, we have millimeter and liter. Then the units for temperature, we have degree Celsius, right? Now the units for time, we have second, minutes, hours, and the rest, which we did a little song, which says 60 seconds make 1 minute, 60 minutes make 1 hour, 24 hours make 1 day, 7 days make 1 week, 4 weeks make 1 month, 12 months make 1 year, 365 days make 1 year as well, 366 days make 1 leave. Now, our next topic we looked at plants as living things. Now, why do we say plants are living things? Because they can grow, they can breathe, they can feed, and they can produce young ones. We looked at the identifications of these plants by their size, by their leaf, by their stem, by their color, and the rest. Then we looked at the main parts of plants, which is the root, stem, leaves, flowers, tending, roots. We played a little video in class, if you remember, which shows how the main parts of plants, from the roots that holds the ground, the soil in the ground, then the stem, sorry, then the leaves, flowers, and the roots. Now, the types of plants that we have the herbs, the shrubs, and the trees. We looked at plants that store food as well. Example of plants that store their food in the roots, we have carrots and cassava. Plants that store food in the stem, we have yam and ginger. Plants that store food in their leaves, we have cabbage and lettuce. And plants that store food in their fruits, we have maize, rice, granite, and the rest. So what does plant need to grow? Definitely good soil, water, air, sunlight, and space. Now, the next topic we looked at animals as living things. Why are animals living things? Because they can move, they can breathe, they can feed, they can grow, they can reproduce young ones, they can remove waste. Now, what are the parts of these animals? We have the head, which contains the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the rest. We have the body, which contains the heart, the stomach, the lungs. These are some of the important organs. Then we have the legs, fins, and wings. For walking, for flying, for swimming. We use fins for swimming, the wings for flying, the legs for walking. Then we have tail. This is for balance when moving. Then we have the coverings. These coverings are different types. We have the hair, example, the dog, the human beings. Then we have feathers, example, the turkey, the chicken, sparrow. Then we have scales, example, these are the fish. We have shell, example, snail, tortoise. Now, these are parts of animals: the head, the body, the legs, the tail, and the coverings. So the next thing we looked at is identification of animals. How do we identify these animals? And they are listed in categories: the mammals, which are example the human beings, the dog, the cat; reptiles, that's the snakes; birds, we have the turkey, chicken; amphibians, we have the frog, toad; fish, we have tilapia fish; insects, example, we have the cockroach. Now we move to difference between plants and animals. What are the difference? Plants make their own food through sunlight, water, and air, while animals cannot make their own food. Plants does not move from one place to another, while animals can move from one place to another, and the rest. So the last topic is soil in our environment. Now, soil is the top layer of the earth where plants grow. Soil and plants. Now, what does soil does for the plants? Soil gives nutrients and supports the roots of plants. Then soil and animals. What does soil do for animals? Some animals live in the soil, which that means it provides shelter, it provides home for animals. Others get food from soil because they can plant their food in the soil that can provide them food that they can eat. Now, this is how soil helps animals. Now, what are the activities that man does on this soil? Of course, man farm on the soil, we build in the soil, we mine and digging of gold on the soil, road construction, bridges, and the rest. These are activities that man does on the soil. Man means like human being does on the soil, things that human beings do on the soil. Now, the next thing is human damage to soil. Now, while doing this, what are the damages? What are the things that we do that as human beings that we destroy the soil? Number one is bush burning. Now, bush burning is just putting fire up and down the environment, just burning everywhere. Number two is overgrazing, which is your animals eating too much of grasses around the environment. Then now cutting of trees, this is deforestation. That is cutting of excess trees can also damage the soil. Then dumping of waste. Now, dumping of waste, you pollute the environment, which spoil the soil. It's damage the soil. Now, the last thing we are going to talk about is taking care of the soil. While damaging, how do we take care of this soil so that it will prevent these damages that we do? Planting of trees. Don't cut trees, you plant them. Avoid bush burning. Then use good manure and fertilizer. Then dispose properly. Don't just put things anywhere, deaths everywhere, garbage and all that. So, salam alaikum.